On the 6th day of eChristmas, my true love said to me, hello and welcome. My name's Nathan Lomax, co-founder of Quickfire Digital.
Hello everyone, I'm Gav Willis and I'm from Search 7.
Today we're going to bring you our latest episode from our new campaign, the 12 Days of eChristmas.
Hope you enjoy it. There's going to be loads of tips, loads of advice, getting you ready for 2021.
Hello and welcome to the 6th day of eChristmas. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Zee from Klarna. Zee, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really well, thank you. So nice to have you on. Now, before I go into this, and I've got so many questions to ask you, I must introduce this Rudolph interpretator over there. Gav, how's things?
I'm good, Nave. How are you, Zee? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. You're really stealing the show over there, aren't you?
Well, you know, it's literally once a year that I steal the show. That's about it, really.
So, Gav, I'll let you kick off. We've got about 10 or 15 minutes with Zee. She's very kindly given up some time. I'm keen to understand from her side of things, being in Klarna, what have they seen happening this year? What are they predicting for next year? And how can we get as much value out for the audience? So, Gav, I'll let you kick this off.
Perfect. Cheers, Nave. So, Zee, what we're doing today is 7 quick-fire questions, like what I did there, Search 7 combining with quick-fire. So, question 1, Zee, tell us a little bit more about who you are and your role at Klarna.
Yeah, of course. So I work in the commercial team at Klarna. Basically, what that means is I help to bring new merchants on board so that these merchants, their customers, can pay with Klarna when they check out. So for the most part, I work with fashion brands. There are some beauty brands as well that are thrown in there. And just to give you a few examples of some recent brands that we've gone live with over the past couple of months, it's people like White Stuff, Aspinall of London, Jigsaw, Paul Smith. So some really lovely names that we're working with that luckily we've managed to get live just before Christmas.
I was going to say a couple of small brands there, Zee, no biggies. That's
Yeah.
Just casually name dropping. Love that. So tell us a little bit more. Obviously, this year has been just mental from all sides of things. I guess Klarna has just seen an absolute boom in people going, right, we must get on the platform. We must offer part payment or that kind of thing. Tell us a little bit more about Klarna's year to date and the plans for over Christmas.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's been a manic year for us, to be honest. And the run up for Christmas every year at Klarna is pretty busy, and Black Friday is quite a big deal. So this year is probably unsurprising. We had our biggest Black Friday ever. So I think across all of our regions, actually, and across all the markets, we were doing about 100 transactions per second, which is a bit mad. But in terms of what the team are actually doing at the moment, I mean, we're quite lucky because they're always doing loads of amazing initiatives. We're doing our own 12 Days of Christmas.
Copyright.
Yeah.
I apologise. It's basically 12 days of giveaways. So there's about £7,000 worth of prizes to be won. So it's things like you can win £500 at Wayfair and £300 at Cult Beauty. And I think ASOS did one yesterday for about £700. So that's quite a nice initiative.
Amazing.
And then...
that puts this in perspective, Gav, doesn't it?
I know.
£100 at Wayfair, or you can talk to 2 mugs on Zoom. I know where I'd rather be. Genius.
And what else have we done? Have you seen the Klarna Sense campaign as well? Because that will be popping up again. And that's basically just to help spread awareness about sensible purchasing and really buying what you need and thinking twice before you buy, which we thought was quite an important message this time of year, what with everything going on as well. Massively
so. And I guess that's been one of the pushbacks to Klarna as a platform, is it is encouraging that kind of credit spending, if you like, where everything, it's all right, we'll just pay it £6 a month or whatever it is. Well, crumbs, A, do you need it? And B, can you actually afford it? And there's a lot of that kind of keeping up with the Joneses that we've seen for however many years, right? Where people are like, okay, well, because that herd mentality, my friends have this, my colleagues have this, etc. I need to also have this. And sometimes people are spending beyond their means. So it's nice that Klarna are taking that responsibility to say, look, just before you do purchase, just beware. So that's a really nice campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. And, obviously we do all of the checks and all of the affordability checks, but a lot of it is about, educating people about those topics. So yeah, totally agree. It's high on the agenda of importance for us at the moment.
Brilliant. See, I was going to say, so obviously you kind of alluded to it earlier about this year being a tough year for so many people. So from what you have seen, how has the pandemic affected online behaviour?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. And there's no doubt that there's been a massive impact and a massive shift in behaviour. And it kind of almost goes without saying, doesn't it, that there's been a drop off in bricks and mortar shopping. And obviously the shops have been shut. People haven't had a choice in the matter. And a lot of people have turned to online. And I think some people, their habits will absolutely have shifted forever. And you've got the other the other camp of people who will and have moved back to in-store as and when they can. But in terms of what we've seen at Klarna, it's actually been really interesting this year, and seeing all of the different industries and all of the different verticals and what's going on. And there are so many companies who actually have had amazing sales days and months and even years. And I think Gymshark probably and Peloton are a couple of brands that spring to mind who have done amazingly well. And then another random one actually is Halfords, who they're another good example, one that I wouldn't ever expect. But I think they did more business in April than they typically do in Christmas over peak. So we've got loads of weird and wonderful stories like that. Probably the most surprising thing for us actually has been what we noticed. We saw that the 50 plus demographic have been our fastest growing sector yet.
Really?
In the year. Yeah.
I'm really surprised by that. I thought it'd definitely be a younger generation thing that would be going to this finance option.
Yeah, well, sorry, that's this year. So obviously they've been exploring more online. They've been doing more online shopping, discovering Klarna, buy now, pay later type things. And yeah, there's been a massive uplift. So yeah, it seems like that we certainly weren't expecting at all. So come January this year.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting because we've got a few clients that are in the say luxury travel kind of sector. And they want to spend their money on going abroad and going on trips and traveling, and they've got more time to, I guess, to go down the high street and shop. So for them, their behaviours have changed immensely, you know, by having to do more things online. So yeah, I've also seen that similar trend.
Yeah, it's funny though, isn't it? Because no one really would have predicted that.
I know.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have anyway.
No, you'd never predict that kind of thing. I think interesting. It's nice to hear some good news stories coming out of this. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but whenever you switch on the news, you're just bombarded with, oh, and there's a new strain of the pandemic, and it's going to get even worse, and actually it's a disaster. And it's so nice to hear. Actually, you know what? Halfords, these kind of companies, some are actually doing really well in the face of adversity, and good on them. Like, I love the story with Gymshark, the guy that I think he was voted kind of the UK's top entrepreneur or something. Like, what a bloke, just starting it from where he did. It's so cool. It's so cool. And in fact, we might try and get him on the next 12 days of eChristmas, Gab. That's the goal. Yeah, why not?
That would be nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to find him on LinkedIn right now.
Yeah. And so going on to, I'm really interested to hear, with all that insight knowledge you can glean from Klarna and those kind of trends, the buy now, pay later and the finance options have become so popular this year, as we could kind of expect. But actually going into 2021, what do we think? And what do you think from your position in Klarna? What do you think the future retail is looking like?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because the buy now, pay later options are becoming so popular, not just online, but actually in store as well. So I think there's certainly a question about the future of retail generally, both online and in store. And potentially the in-store piece is slightly more controversial, isn't it? I don't know if you saw... there was an article in the Times last week written by the CEO of Primark. Did you see it?
No, I don't think I did. Go on.
Oh, it was called something like, don't quote me, but something like, anyone who thinks that shopping in person is over would be naive. And the article, he was basically just saying that anyone who thinks that lockdown has sped up the switch from in-store to online is misguided, and it's much more about the social connection to friends and family and all that kind of stuff. And to be honest, a big part of the future of certainly in-store retail, I think, is really connected to that social piece. So it's all about making shopping a bit more of an experience, isn't it? Like, look at, I don't know, Selfridges, probably one of the most iconic stores in the world. And when you go in there, it's not just a shop, it is a whole experience. And I mean, did you see they opened up the Selfridges cinema earlier this year?
Well, this is it, right? And then you've also got these virtual try-ons in certain stores as well. And there's so many different ways where they're using technology to really bring that experience to life, and then actually say, you know what, I will go in store and I will go and get that, because it is just about the experience. You're not just simply trying something on and and checking out. And I guess there will always be a place, in my opinion, for bricks and mortar. Yes, it's got to evolve and it's got to adapt and quick, but it would be such a shame if we shifted solely online. You lose that personality. And there's some things that online can't give you. Again, customer experience, you look at the kind of live chat platforms and the customer service, and that's okay. But at the same time, there is nothing better than being able to have a conversation face to face, and again, to build up that rapport with a customer, and things that actually digital, I don't think will ever be able to take the place of.
No, absolutely. I was listening to a podcast the other day. I've forgotten what it was called actually, but they were talking about this perfume shop in Covent Garden. It's called Floral Street or something. And obviously they sell perfume, but they also do something called, they've got a scent school. And so people will come in and they'll book in with their friends and their family, and they'll actually learn all about like the history of all the perfumes and everything. So I think it's stuff like that, you know, it's giving you experiences that actually you can't really get online. And so they're standing out from the online equivalents.
That's a really nice takeaway, combining experience and education into 2021 to say how you can do those kind of master classes or whatever, where you do need that interactive experience. I think is brilliant.
Yeah.
So see, I mean, moving on to the next question. I mean, obviously introducing payment options and reducing barriers to entry across the entire customer journey is still a hugely untapped opportunity, really. So what are your thoughts on how retailers can take this into the next level in 2021?
Yeah. So, I mean, I actually still can't believe that all retailers aren't seeing the importance of adopting a fully native mobile experience for their customers. So, I mean, if I ever have to do that on my phone and shrink my screen, I don't have much patience, but I'm off of that site. And
I'm the same. I'm like, really? That's like 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think expectations are so high these days. So the best sites, you know, they've got the full tech stack of loads of optimization strategies. So you've got the guest checkout, you've got the free delivery, you've got the express checkout, you've got the different payment options. And for us, certainly, I think it's over 80% of our sales are on mobile or tablet. So for me, I just don't understand when retailers aren't really focusing on the mobile piece and trying to get that right as well. So I think there's that angle.
Yeah.
And then considering actually just how impatient we are as consumers these days, I think we can find anything online super, super quickly. But actually moving forward, it will be really interesting to see, you know, what will the stores do to evolve with that and to actually match it. So I don't know, it would be quite cool if you could have graphics in store where you've got a QR code which will take you to the store's website if, for example, you don't have, I don't know, a product or a size that's not in stock at the moment. And because there's only so much flexibility you can actually have with a brick and mortar shop, actually the opportunity to expand the product line to have you know, that extended product line for the smaller, more remote shops, I think is quite exciting.
I think that's a really good idea, because I'm a member of a few networking events, and it's all online at the moment, obviously, but they're talking about more hybrid events where you can be there in person but still get that functionality of maybe being alongside a wider audience from around the UK as well. So I guess that's more of a hybrid approach, isn't it? While introducing new technologies to say, having the bricks and mortar experience, which would be fantastic, but what else can you still bring to that you've been getting used to online in terms of searching by different kind of categories and different product ranges?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I'm struggling to take you seriously in that radius.
So I'm keen to understand, I don't know if you're a gambling lady, but essentially let's have a little game here. If you have to put all your money, your house, everything on one trend that's going to take 2021 by storm within the world of e-commerce, what's it going to be?
Does it have to be just one?
Just one.
Just one.
Okay. Okay, so I think AI is key, and obviously with the stores closing this year, I think there's been some really, really clever technology to help with the challenge of not being able to try things on, and that's not just clothes but makeup as well.
Yep.
So have you heard of the brand Il Maquillage?
No.
Okay, well, they're a makeup brand, so I'm not that surprised that you two haven't heard of them. But they've done this beautifully. So they're a tech-based makeup company. So you go and you do a quiz online, and they've got the technology. I do not know how they do it, and they get it so spot on, but they will match the exact right colors for your skin, for your foundation, for example. And for me, if it wasn't for that type of technology, there's no way I would ever buy a foundation or a concealer or anything like that online without trying it first. So I think ones like that with that type of technology are really exciting ones to watch.
That's really interesting. We've got a client that's doing vegan free or vegan friendly kind of lipstick. And so, yeah, for them, trying to get the right shades and everything on your lips, so you can just, it kind of loads up a light box, and then you can see your face, and then you can see yourself with the different lipsticks. Another client doing the same with sustainable sunglasses, where you can try on the sunglasses, I think is really cool. And actually what we're finding is this stuff's becoming much more accessible. Years ago, this was only available to the massive retailers with millions of pounds of marketing spend. But actually now, for X amount of pounds or sometimes hundreds of pounds a month, you can actually get this in your store fairly low cost. And like you said, it makes a world of difference, right?
Yeah, it really does. What's the vegan lipstick company called?
They're called Junie Cosmetics. A little shout out for them. They are such a cool brand, mother and daughter, just the most wonderful company. And actually they do some beautiful, beautiful lipsticks. Check them out.
That's my main takeaway so far.
There you go.
So glad you got some great value from it. I'm hoping the audience have got some other things as well, apart from just the wonderful company that Junie are. And so, Gav, final question, because he's clearly not interested. The question from you, mate.
The final question, and it's the big one. What is on the top of your Christmas list this year?
Of what I would like.
What you would like. What would you like Nathan to get you?
Okay. So I have no expectations to actually get this, but the top of my list would be, have you heard of the Carol exercise bike?
The Carol exercise bike? No, but it sounds extraordinary. Go on.
Okay, so I think it's the first AI exercise bike that was invented, but basically you jump on this exercise bike for 8 minutes, it's just over 8 minutes, and you have a warm up, you have a cool down, and you also have two 20-second like high like intensity sprints.
Yeah.
And it basically ramps up. The more you use it, it knows how fit you are, and it ramps up the intensity the fitter you get. There's no sweating, which is a real bonus for me because it's such a short time. It's just an 8-minute period. And apparently, look how much I've been sold on this. Apparently the 8-minute workouts equivalent to a 45-minute jog. Who wouldn't want that?
Oh, that is cool. To be fair, that shows just how unfit I am. When you said the Carol workout, I imagined you doing a cycle with carols going on in the background.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. I thought you had like 2 or 3 carols to choose from a list, and you just
We do. I was like, that is ridiculously festive and actually really niche. But now you've explained it, it sounds so much better than what I'd envisaged.
It is extortionately expensive though, although they did actually just add Klarna to their site. So,
game changer. So actually you can get it for £1 a month over 7 years, and you're laughing. No, see, as always, so lovely to have you on. I've really enjoyed it, and it's nice that we can just be ourselves and have a bit of a laugh. And this is what this show is all about, right? It's just about pulling down the mask and saying, you know what, we're all people trying to do a good job, trying to help our customers. And actually to be able to have someone like yourself on the show is a real privilege. So thank you so much for joining us. It's been really nice to chat. I hope you get that Carol exercise bike.
I'll let you know.
Yeah,
And
post it.
so much to buy after this.
Gav, lovely to have you on as well. Thank you all so much.
Cheers, guys. Cheers,
I
Zee.
enjoyed it.
Have a lovely Christmas.
Cheers, you too.